So my question is around there's a missing piece in these two very dominant types of work that I do. One is law of attraction, one is another type of work. And
well, law of attraction is present in all of it.
Exactly, yes, okay.
Yes.
So be careful.
So they're not different.
Present in all, okay. There's one piece of it that it seems like they're not overlapping, and I want some guidance in that. So in this work, there's this idea that there are these patterns that can come from your past. And
habits of thought?
Vibrational
habits?
Yeah. And so my experience has been that if I had come from that same place, like even if I had been accessing the law of attraction, I feel like I still would have been attracting those same patterns.
Well, here's the thing. Use the terminology about law of attraction just a little differently.
Okay.
You're not using it. It's responding to you.
Okay.
Constantly. It never stops. So it's amplifying, it's demonstrating to you what you've got going on vibrationally. And that's all.
Okay.
Without judgment, without bias. It's responding to your vibration and therefore amplifying whatever it is you've got going on.
Okay, so where I'm tripped up is that I've gotten to a thought pattern where sometimes I feel like I can't trust my feelings because I'm concerned that it's coming from a dominant thought pattern that I don't want to continue.
Here's the thing. This is why you can always trust your feelings. Because whatever it is that you've been living has caused you to create a vibrational version of it. And your source stands there and calls you toward that. So your path is clear. It's undeniable. There are no wrong choices. When you say you can't trust your feelings, well, these are the things that could go wrong with your awareness of your feelings, or with your feelings. Being unaware of what they are, so that a lot of momentum gets going before you are aware or make a different choice. Or, well, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, that's it. And so knowing what you now know, there's no way that you could not trust it, because once the momentum begins, it will play out in a way. Esther was questioning with her friend about the leaving of her bag. They are way past the point of saying what went wrong, because they both accept that nothing is going wrong. Things are always working out.
Yeah.
So the question, instead of what went wrong, was, what's in this for me? What's in this? Because Esther could say, I can't trust my feelings. I was right there in a place with something that mattered very much to me, and I walked away from it, and I got no warning bell. Nothing said, Esther, alert, 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 alert. And the reason is because nothing went wrong. It was all part of the path. Esther didn't know it. She's still not willing to admit that leaving her bag was part of the path, but it was.
Yeah.
Part of something bigger, part of something that matters more, part of her realization that she doesn't want anything physical to matter to her that much, you see.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to talk about something specific?
Yeah, I would love to. So I'll talk about a coworker, because we talked about there was an assistant that you were having issues with. Someone came up and talked. So I had a coworker, and he rubbed me the wrong way. I felt uncomfortable around him. I had this idea of like alpha males, and this was like a pattern that I had. And I just felt uncomfortable around them, and I would be a clearing for it, like I would attract it. And so I didn't even realize that I was attracting that, and that was something in my space, until in this other work I distinguished it, like it was like a blind spot, like I didn't even know it. And then inside of that, I went to him and I actually shared how I was feeling, and this is just what ended up happening. And it created this beautiful relationship. It cracked something open for me. And not only did it crack something open in this relationship, we're great friends at the office now, but now I started relating to other alpha males differently, because that thought pattern had changed. And my experience was that had I kept searching for good feeling thoughts in that situation, that wouldn't have broken.
Well, you'll never know.
Well, that's what I'm.
But you did take the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
You took the path that felt like the path to what you wanted, and it was. And so what is it about that you now don't trust? Abraham, there was this thing I didn't like, which caused me to know what I did want, and then I got these impulses, and I followed those impulses, and it worked out really well. What am I doing wrong? And we think what this conversation is really about is...
Tell me.
It's about recognizing that, oh, you're really going to like this, that this path of least resistance isn't about a behavior that you should always follow. It's about being loose and receptive in the moment and following the impulse. In other words, Esther's thinking about this a lot these days, because through her life experience and through her time with Jerry and through their building of life together and through the building of their businesses together, there were principles that he lived by, that he taught to Esther, sort of business equations that he repeated to her often, ways to behave in situations and conditions to hold in certain ways. He said things like, start it the way you want it to end up, and if you can't multiply it by 1,000, don't do it. And he had a lot of those things that served him well, that simplified life. So now Jerry makes this transition to the non-physical, and so Esther is wanting to follow his lead and remembering so much of the wisdom that she learned from him. And so trying to hold to some of those principles that he established. Discovering, however, in her moving forward along her continual path of least resistance, that sometimes in holding to those principles that may have worked then, but are different in the way that she is feeling them now, that sometimes she can let go of that as she follows a louder calling. And the way she first began translating that was by saying, oh, Jerry, I think I can hear you saying something different now. And he is saying something different now, like trust yourself and follow your own guidance, and like things are always working out, and your impulses are on target, and don't worry so much about trying to get everything just right, and enjoy the journey. And there are a whole lot of other things that he is saying that are not contradictory to what he said then. And so this is the piece that we are so interested in lighting up for you, and that is that the path of least resistance. Let's say that something happened and you felt an impulse and you did it, and it worked out really well, and you noticed it, and so you did it again and it worked out well again, and so you started affirming to yourself that when I do this under these conditions with these people, it turns out like this. Well, that's really nice, but it doesn't allow for the expansion in your desire, and it doesn't allow for the momentum along your way, and it doesn't allow for who you have become.
Because you're confining yourself?
You're confining yourself to what was and not allowing yourself to go to what will be or what really is. So let's go back to the piece that we were offering earlier about what if. Wouldn't it be nice if Esther's finding those 4-second and 5-second and 6-second glimpses where all she is aware of, all that she is wanting is alignment, 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 trusting then that in her alignment, that law of attraction, which is always in motion, will then help her to dovetail with who is in her vicinity, who is up for whatever it is that she's up for. Rather than looking into the public and defining results that you like, and then systematically trying to hook up with the specifics of those characteristics, instead trusting your guidance, coming into alignment, and trusting law of attraction to give you what you need when you need it all the way along the way. So much more freedom, so much more power, so much more timing, so much more deliberateness, so much more refreshing, so much faster, so much more energy moving.
So can I apply this to something that I'm working with right now, and then I'll... When I last came and spoke with you, I was trying to start a company, and you told me putting the cart before the horse, like being entrepreneurial. I finally have this opportunity, and I've amassed an incredible team. We all attracted each other. There's 3 of us, and that's kind of ever present in my mind. It's a health food company, and the thought is I've failed 4 other times. things are going well, but
The thought is not I failed 4 other times. I prepared my path 4 other times. I put what I wanted in my vortex several other times.
Yeah.
I got the momentum going 4 other times. And the question is, am I now in the receptive mode? That's the only question.
and now I'm being cautious, which I think is not the receptive
It
mode.
isn't the receptive mode. Caution is scrutinizing conditions. That's the distinction that Esther noticed. Being cautious about things rather than being open. Being aware of where to go rather than cautious about where to go. Big difference.
It's a huge difference. And conceptually, I get it, but right here, it hasn't landed for me yet.
Well, it will. As you trust more. Now, that's a little tricky, isn't it? Because you say, I'm not sure I trust my feelings, and we say, trust your feelings. You say, I'm not sure I trust my feelings. You say, trust your feelings. But how are you going to know you can trust your feelings if you don't put yourself in a position where you, rather than saying, trust my feelings, because that's sort of loaded for you. Let's say it in a different way. I want to be in the receptive mode. So let's talk about the evolution of thoughts to things. So there's a vibration of what you want, and it's really a powerful and active vibration. We are affirming that to you. We see the vibration of your vortex. There is so much power in that vibration. So here's this vibration, and your inner being, the source, more than we can describe of non-physical cadre of energy and consciousness, is there in the vibration of that. So there it is, but it's a vibration not yet translatable by you, especially if you're not in the receptive mode. So here's the vibration, here's the vibration, here's the vibration, here's the vibration. So how are you going to put yourself in the vicinity of translating that vibration into something that's meaningful? Well, if you hit on the subject head on, you're going to activate all your concerns. So you're not going to be in the receptive mode. But if you do something fun, if you let yourself go, if you make lists of positive aspects, or if you're in the mode of appreciating, if you do those things that you know how to do that cause you to feel good, and then you allow the idea to come. You know that feeling when you say, oh, I got an idea. Or here's something. Oh, this just occurred to me. Well, ask yourself, why? Why did that just occur to me? That just occurred to you because you were in the receptive mode and the vibration's been there, and you translated the vibration into something tangible for you, because the thought that you translated it into and the subsequent emotion that came in response to it, those are manifestations too. We're going to call them first stage manifestations. There's really plenty of stages before you got to there, but it's a first stage manifestation. And if you can revel in that, then it'll flow and flow and flow and flow and flow till the momentum of those ideas will be such. You've already experienced a lot of that.
We're farther than I've ever been in the last 5 years.
Yes, so as you allow that to flow and you have fun in it.
Yeah.
So
That's a piece that's missing for me. The farther I go, the less
that
fun.
is the piece that you're looking for. We don't want to say throw all caution to the wind, because that sounds a little bit to you like don't pay attention to your guidance. We want to say no longer be cautious. We want to say you're reaching for the vibration of fun, not the one of cautious. You're reaching for the vibration of clarity, not the one of warning. You want to get on the path, and where does the path lead?
To least resistance. To what?
The path leads to alignment.
Alignment.
The
Okay.
path leads to...
I should know that. I should know that by now.
You're not from around here.
I'm not. No.
The path leads to alignment. The path leads to alignment, and then the alignment leads to hiring and technology and more and more and more and more. But the only thing that you ever have to be aware of is the path to alignment, and that alignment, and then all the energy, all the resources that you've then connected with take care of everything else.
I've been using it as a tool.
We know.
I've been aligning to a very short or very small spectrum, and I haven't really been, what's the term we've been using this whole day is...
That's the piece. That's the
receptive.
Piece. That's the piece.